see, this is my life. It always will be. There's nothing else. Just us. And the cameras. And those wonderful people out there in the dark.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Out There in the Dark. My name's Tom Alexander, and with me, as always, is Azed Majid.
Oh.
Hey, Azed.
I don't get to say my own name.
Well, it just feels awkward sometimes.
Does it? But that's part of...
Isn't that part of the pause? And
isn't that part of the charm of the show?
Me a weird look.
Am I giving you a weird look right now?
Yeah.
Okay. That's just the way my face is. Thanks a lot,
okay.
man.
You got resting weird face.
Yeah, that's exactly right. All right. Well, what do we got on the old burner today?
Well, today is...
Oh, it's a good one.
It's a good one. Today's Wednesday, and just a few days ago, on Sunday, were the Academy Awards.
So it's our bitch fest.
This is our bitch fest.
All right.
I don't know how much... There's stuff to bitch. A little bit.
Yeah, it seems like they almost got the balance correct this time.
Unfortunately, it makes for a less interesting episode.
Well, we'll find something.
We'll find something. There's plenty. Brody, anyway.
Yeah, Brody. And more Brody.
Yeah, but so let's talk about the show.
All right. Would you like? I'll give you my sort of like pocket.
You go first.
Yeah. So, whatever. What can I say? Oscars. Award shows are always a hate watch to a certain extent because they're so dumb. But I have to say, first of all, this time I really enjoyed it. Okay, so I feel of two minds of this, but okay, I really enjoyed Conan O'Brien. I thought his gags were really funny, and he was very funny. But the one thing about that I didn't like is that it was kind of like a Conan O'Brien show. Right? And the same thing happened with Letterman, I think, when he hosted. Like, they kind of bring too much of their own thing in there, which I liked. It was funny, but it kind of takes away a little bit from the Oscars. Even if it's cheesy as shit, you want it to be that kind of variety show thing.
Yeah, I think
not too in the know almost.
It was nice that Conan referenced Billy Crystal at the end there and said, is the greatest Oscars host of all time.
Yeah.
Which is true. And because, Billy Crystal brought himself too, but he has that sort of shtick that somehow works.
Yeah, he's very funny.
I like Kimmel too, but Kimmel also is a little more, I don't know, irreverent.
Yeah.
Maybe too irreverent.
Yeah, I don't really know Kimmel. I've never actually watched a full Kimmel, but I've watched clips, of course.
He's great. But I thought Conan brought just enough panache, enough of himself, but also made it.
I was laughing, and so the other thing about it was, so these are the good things. I'll say that I liked Conan. I liked the approach of having other. Past winners, kind of give a little talk before they give the award. I think that's a great idea, actually, because it gives you the sense of the tradition of passing the baton or, whatever. And also, I like when it's other actors talking about other actors. That's a great thing to hear.
Yeah, I like it, too. I know a lot of people who didn't like it.
Yeah.
It's
like, just get to the award already.
They're like, I just want to see the clip. Show me the clip.
Yeah.
And also there's a strange awkwardness. The person who's being feted, who's in the audience, has kind of got this smile frozen on their face.
Yeah.
Like what am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
But I like it too. Because it's different, and you get a sense of the other person's personality, and it's heartfelt. And it always feels heartfelt. It never feels fake because they do all know each other and they work together. And
absolutely.
Yeah.
And then the other thing, let's see, what else did I like about the Oscars? Well, there was no, super standout moment where I was like, oh God, this is awful. Right. Except for Adrian Brody's speech, but
the Bond thing was pretty bad.
Yeah. I walked away at that point.
It was pointless.
Yeah.
Yeah,
there was maybe if I could say one thing about it is there was maybe one too many, like, huge extravaganza numbers, right?
That was the Bond thing.
Yeah, and the Bond thing, and then they did the whole Wicked thing, right? And
I think the Wicked thing at the beginning was great.
Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, sorry, I do. I mean, I think
I haven't seen Wicked. I probably won't see it.
Yeah, you won't like it.
Yeah, I won't. But what I did like about it was that they also referenced, the other versions of the Wizard of Oz, right?
The Wiz, yeah.
Yeah, the Wiz, and then the original Wizard of Oz. But whatever.
And you could read what you want into that whole thing. Like, why is the Wizard of Oz so much a part of our cultural conversation right now?
Yeah. I think there's a lot there. There's a lot to
unpack, but let's not go there.
Yeah. Other than that, it's just like, again, I don't want to sound like cynical, man, but the show itself is just usually what it is, right? It's like a lot of times during those shows, I'm like, why are they spending this much money on this shit?
Yeah.
But okay, final. I give it a B plus.
Sure. I would agree. There was some parts I didn't like. It went long.
Sometimes Conan seemed to disappear, like he wasn't really part of the show.
That always happens.
Yeah.
But I also, just in terms of the awards themselves, I didn't have. We'll talk about this more, but I didn't have any issues with any of the winners, which kind of made it a little bit boring. Like you kind of want surprises.
Well,
Anora was a bit of a surprise for a lot of people.
I think people were surprised that she won. Mikey
Mikey Madison. It was going to be her or Demi Moore, I think.
Yeah, but I think a lot of people feel that, at least from what I've read online, a lot of people are upset that she didn't win, right?
Yeah,
and that they kind of felt like, oh, that's what the movie's about too.
It's kind of true.
Yeah, and people are always trying to be like so clever on those.
But Madison was well deserving.
Oh, okay, so just to get to the movies, yeah, I agree with you. I was a little surprised that Anora sort of took home so many.
Yeah.
When you had, The Brutalist, which is a very serious Oscar-y type movie, right? Mm-hmm. And I thought, well, okay, it's going to win like something like Best Screenplay, but then The Brutalist is going to take everything else, right?
Right.
But it was the exact opposite, and I was surprised. I was pleased by that because I loved Anora. I thought actually Anora was my favorite out of all of them.
Right.
And it was funny because a lot of people are like, why is Anora so great? I've been reading a lot of this kind of stuff too.
I'm so tired of these backlashes every time.
Yeah, it has to be, right?
And Emilia Perez gets 13 nominations, a record, and then all of a sudden, a week later, everybody hates the movie.
Yeah. Yeah. Which I saw a little bit of Emilia Perez, and I thought it was like, what's that guy? It was like a Baz Luhrmann in Latin or something, in Latin style.
I wouldn't. Wow.
Yeah, because it had like those same kind of giant like breaking into like kind of rock songs and stuff.
Yeah.
Or like Latin rock songs, but whatever. Did not care for it, but it seemed a lot.
I liked it.
I think it was better than what people seem to be saying.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. No,
definitely watchable if you
crapping all over it. Yeah. And it's like it's the kind of Emilia Perez. If we're going to talk about it for a minute, it's the kind of movie for me that you either go with the whole high melodrama telenovela kind of style, and you just go with it,
right,
or you don't.
Yeah,
if you
agree.
Don't,
yeah,
fine.
Right.
I went with it. I enjoyed it, but I had a lot of problems with the movie, primarily on the trans representation.
Right.
I thought Zoe Saldana deserved her Oscar. I thought the whole cast was great.
Right.
Carlos Sofia Gascon was great. I liked the film. I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
but it's not great.
Yeah, no. Like again, I watched a bit of it. I watched like about 40 minutes of it.
Jacques Audiard has made better films for sure.
Yeah, but again, like I was saying like, well, I could watch this whole thing. Mm-hmm. Like you said, if you go with it, it's a well-made movie. It's really innovative and all that stuff, right? So yeah, I'm not sure what the backlash was all about. I mean, I can guess, but I don't want to go there right now.
No.
But that was another thing. It wasn't. I liked the way diversity, the worst word in the world, was represented without it being leaned on the way it has been in past years, right?
Do you mean overall or the film?
Yeah, overall. Like the fact that Flow won over like that Flow, which I haven't seen. But,
I haven't seen it either.
Yeah, but I definitely want to see it now, right? And Flow, which was won Best Animated Feature. I mean, it beat out like Pixar and
The Wild Robot, which is very good and was expected to win. Yeah.
Yeah. So I like that when there was a few movies where I was like, oh, I really want to see that movie now, right? Mm-hmm. So that was interesting. Like they still had a good representation of world cinema, right? With Walter Salles and with the Israeli Palestinian film, the documentary, right? And those moments reminded me of old Oscar shows from the 70s because you know the Oscars over the past few years I think have gotten so woke. Sorry, another shit word, but you know, like I don't know what else to say. Like I hate that word more than anything because it's so dumb the way people use it. But whatever, you know, like the whole show became a reflection of virtue signaling, right? That was at its worst. I think that was like Oscar so white and all that stuff, right?
Right.
So this time they kind of didn't push it so much, which I really liked. Right?
Yeah.
But it was there, and it was there in the way that was dignified, and it belonged to the people.
It was organic.
Yeah.
And I think it speaks to the greater international makeup of the Academy.
Yeah.
Where they've done much better job of expanding the membership.
Exactly. And like that Iranian film one, and the woman who said, you know, like, oh, like this is a miracle that this even got made, right?
Yeah.
And I like it when they don't, try to wrap themselves in, again, that kind of like we're every category is going to be like, you know, an Asian person or a black person, or when you can see them ticking the boxes, right? That seemed to be gone this year. Yeah. Right. So I enjoyed that because somehow it gives the flavor of international cinema a little bit more room because it doesn't seem like you're also competing with other groups. You know?
Ironically, that was one of the issues around Emilia Perez, where it takes place in Mexico and there's nothing Mexican about it. None of the actors. It's shot in France, French director,
right,
et cetera, and then there was more issues around actually at the awards when the winners of the two Oscars that Emilia Perez got never once mentioned Mexico and never once mentioned trans rights.
Right.
So read into that what you will, but. That to me was a little bit disappointing.
I can definitely understand that.
And maybe that's because of because of Carlos Sofia Gascon's horrendous Twitter tweets from 4 years ago that came out.
Yeah.
But
although I read those tweets and I didn't think they were that bad. Like they were bad, but they weren't like.
I read about them and they sounded pretty bad.
Yeah, no, I read them. I actually went.
But it was not just that. It was also her quote unquote damage control after that.
Disaster. But that sort of stuff is whatever.
But that's neither here nor there in a sense because she's very good in the film. Yeah. And I thought deserved her nomination. Yeah. And I thought, it would have been gracious if that was mentioned.
Yeah, I agree.
Especially in the context of a United States that is becoming so transphobic.
Well, I think that's your answer, right?
Yeah.
I think people are really.
That was one thing about the Oscars this year is they played it pretty safe.
Only one person, Daryl Hannah, I think, came out and said Slava Ukrainia, right?
Yeah.
So I was expecting a little bit more of that, but
there's little subtle things.
I think
the no other land filmmakers and their speech.
And
Adrian Brody mentioned anti-Semitism.
Yeah,
so that's fair. And
then he weirdly
Then he talked for another 3 hours.
And then he mentioned Harvey Weinstein's kids, right?
Yeah, because they're his kids.
Yeah, because he's married to
his ex-wife.
Right.
Yeah. But anyway,
that was a little weird.
There you go.
But
interesting Christmas.
Yeah. But I thought it was good. The other movie that I think people were shocked it didn't really get anything was A Complete Unknown, right?
Yeah.
Which I saw the other day. I rented it at home and watched it. You said you saw it in the theater.
I saw it in the theater just on the weekend. I saw it the day before the Oscars. Right? It was sold out. It was packed in the Varsity. And people applauded at the end, and the audience was really into it.
Right.
I was not so into it.
Yeah. It's a standard. It's pretty standard biopic.
It is. Yeah. So but that's James Mangold in a way, right?
Yeah.
Like it's not that he's a bad filmmaker. It is. It's just it is what it is, and you're gonna get what I liked about Complete Unknown is not just that. I thought Chalamet was excellent. He was great. He was definitive.
He was.
And of course the music's great. But to me, I also kind of liked how the theme of it seemed to be like the death of a certain style of music.
Right.
So that kind of folk music, and you had the folk festival rebelling so strongly against Dylan going electric.
Yeah, the Pete Seeger, Ed Norton's Pete Seeger
he's kind of bridging it.
He's trying to preserve this old traditional folk music, and Dylan's. It's all about. This is a problem for me with the movie because I just didn't think the stakes were high enough. I also know like that whole story and. Yeah, it's all fine in the end, right?
Well, if you're a Dylan fan like we are, you're not going to learn anything new.
No,
right? I actually kind of wanted a movie about that Johnny Cash characterization. Yeah. It was great. It was great. But, and like it's kind of like Walk the Line, right? Another James Mangold movie that's very good, but it's really very standard.
Yeah, it's
elevated by the performances, just like Complete Unknown.
But, So I mean, I feel like for me the movie was more of a kind of like vanity project for Timothée Chalamet, right?
Yeah. Maybe.
He was great and everything. Yeah. I thought actually Ed Norton was better.
Yeah, he was really good.
Because
I mean, he's a master.
Like he is, and he's able to do things with a certain ease that come very naturally to me, even silly things. Like I thought that ending, the things that bothered me about it was like, at the end when he sees the axe and he's going to like chop everything up and it's like, that's not believable. Okay. But
yeah, the fist fights were not believable. At the folk. Really?
Yeah. It's like, well, we have to have a bad guy, really, it's like this, that's what I'm saying. The stakes just didn't seem high enough. And I don't think they needed to do that. I think they could have just had it a little more subtle. So yeah, I mean, whatever. I didn't really love it, and but I thought he was the standout was Ed Norton, right? And what other movies were there that we have both seen?
Well, should we talk? Do you want to talk about The Brutalist?
Yes, The Brutalist. We can talk about.
Or do you want to wait? We could do that later.
Well, The Brutalist won for.
It won for Best Actor, Best Score,
right,
and cinematography.
Right.
Pretty. I mean, the score was pretty great.
The score is amazing.
And part of it kind of reminded me a little bit of, because it wasn't just the score; it was the whole sound design.
Yeah.
Similarly to like The Zone of Interest the year prior, which also had this very radical sound design mixing in with the music.
Yep, that's true.
And I felt like Brutalist took a page from that.
Yeah, Brutalist is a fascinating one because I feel like it's one of those movies that has grown on me more and more. As like I liked it right away.
As you've thought about it,
but the more it does pop into my head, right? Like because it's not a fully. I like the way the motivations of the main character are not clear, right? And so
I don't think they're clear to him either.
Well, I think they can become kind of clearer at the end, right? Yeah. A lot of people said they didn't like that ending, but I liked it. I thought it was interesting.
Yeah, I definitely thought it was interesting, and I liked the idea of the ending. I don't think he quite pulled it off, but
yeah. I mean, I think I like the fact that it changes completely as well. The movie, the look of the movie, even right, because it's like now. In modern, he's old and it was
grainy video.
Yeah, and it was exactly. And it was an interesting
that weird montage with the effects.
Exactly, yeah, like almost like a TV, shitty TV thing.
It was like, wow, this is turning into like, and ironically, it's a celebration of his work.
Exactly,
it looks so crappy on purpose.
It's like that's what it comes to at the end.
What bothered me was I felt like, and I really liked the film, but I felt like he lost the focus in the second half somehow. And
I don't necessarily agree with that.
I felt like, and then it's almost like Brody kind of drops out of the picture at some point when Felicity Jones confronts Guy Pearce at that dinner, and then we don't see him again until the end, where he's in a wheelchair and he's elderly. So
well, that's the whole. I mean, that's the end of the story.
No, I know, but
he basically gets raped by him, right? Like
Yeah. Spoiler alert to everyone. Well, I should have said that at the top anyway.
Yeah.
But no, I know. I get it. I'm saying I get exactly what he's trying to do.
But you feel that there's something kind of.
I just felt like I wanted to follow Brody through to the end.
Yeah, I get that.
I get exactly what's happening, and I thought the scene where I thought Felicity Jones was great, and the scene where she confronts Guy Pearce was excellent, and that whole thing.
Yeah.
And I love the ambiguity where we don't know exactly what happened to Guy Pearce.
Yeah.
Exactly. We can guess, but.
Well, that's it. It sort of ends, and then it has a coda.
Yeah.
And and Guy Pearce was great. I thought he was really good.
Yeah.
He was almost like, it's funny, people don't really remember him that much, right? But because
he's always been great at being in the background and being always really good, but always supporting.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And but he was really great in this. And Brutalist is an interesting movie for many reasons, because its message, again, its motivations reveal themselves over time, right? And so there's fascinating things, because like at the end you realize, what he was building was a kind of replica of his own experiences in the camps, right? In this stylized way, but it's basically like that's what it is, right?
Yeah.
And yet there's this kind of like spiritual quality to the building too, right? Like it's very much like
it's like a church.
It's like a church, right? Like a sacrosanct thing, right?
Right, because it's meant to be multi-purpose, but there's a chapel,
right?
But as depicted in the film, it's like the altar
becomes the cross when the sun goes over top,
and then the marble is also stained because of what happened at the quarry.
Yeah,
when he assaults Brody.
Yeah.
So that all, I mean, for me, it was a movie about how trauma infects everything you do, your art, your relationships.
Yes.
Like he's a heroin addict. He's got this, he talks lovingly about his wife, and she's writing these beautiful letters. And then when she finally comes, we see that this is not an easy marriage.
No.
These two have a very difficult time together.
Well, they have this, and they have the mute daughter, right?
Yeah,
it's a very traumatized group.
And her trauma. So you can only imagine.
Yeah.
The niece's trauma, which is reflected in that later scene with Guy Pearce's son.
Yeah.
Right, when something happened there,
which is also like a rape scene almost.
Well,
you don't see what happened, but she comes back and she maybe.
Well,
it's not
I think
rape,
if you watch,
but they had sex,
may as
right?
well be, yeah. And I think if you watch carefully the scene where she confronts Guy Pearce at the dinner table, you start noticing that there is something going on.
Yeah.
With the children too.
Yeah.
And that's just horrifying.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But it's never sort of spelled out.
No.
And what I think. One of the takeaways for me from The Brutalist was that, every architect's work, every building has a story, right? Mm-hmm. Even your home, years ago when we first moved into this house, we had a mudroom in the back, and we wanted to take it down, so we had somebody come in and take it down. And when they took down the walls, they found old newspapers in there, and there were newspapers from the 40s with headlines about Hitler.
Wow.
Yeah, and they had been stuffed into the walls, right? So you just wonder, like, people were living here and getting those papers. You know what I mean? So it made me think a lot about that. The idea that every building has a story or has like a message, mm-hmm. And that in architecture is a form of storytelling, right? Mm-hmm. And I think that's what he's doing. He's getting his story out, right?
Yeah.
In his medium.
And look at the way Guy Pearce's character reacts to the new library at the beginning of the film.
Right.
Which I think is also informed by him knowing that it was his son who was behind the library.
Right.
And what that relationship must be like for him to be so angry about it. Which is not something that occurred to me, of course, until after the film was over and I was thinking about it.
Right. Oh, yeah, right, yeah.
Because at the time, at the beginning of the film, you don't know what happens later.
Yeah.
So, all of which to say, it's a remarkable film. It's a stunning achievement.
It is.
I don't think it was 100% successful, but...
Yeah, it sort of fails in interesting ways, though.
Yeah, No, I mean, I really... And you're right. It's of all the I'd say of all the major films on this list, with the exception of I'm Still Here, I think The Brutalist is the one that has stuck with me.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about that one. I haven't seen I'm Still Here yet, so you tell me what you think.
Full disclosure, we distributed I'm Still Here in Canada, so I don't usually talk about the films that I've worked on, but I have to talk about this one because it is, of all the Best Picture nominated films, it's my favorite.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it is excellent. And it's straightforward filmmaking to a degree, but it's what's great about I'm Still Here, without going into the plot details, is that she's trying to find out what happened to her husband, who was disappeared by the Argentine government in the 70s, and the focus of the film is almost not on the politics, and it's not on him. I mean, he's a big part in the first third of the film. So it's really about her and her trying to hold her family together and trying to find out what happened. And she does it not in a, I mean, she's obviously very upset and stuff, but there's a great scene where she's kind of doing a bit of publicity with her family, and the magazine is doing a cover story, and they pose for the picture and they say, "Oh, don't smile because, this is about your disappeared husband," because the family's smiling. Yeah. And she says, "No, I want to smile." And it's an expression of the strength. Right. It's really interesting. It was a very powerful film.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about that one, so I'm going to definitely watch that one. So that was your favorite. That's interesting.
That was my favorite, but I mean, I think it would probably be between that, Brutalist, and Anora, where I thought really good films.
Yeah. I think let's talk a little bit. I want to talk a tiny bit about Anora because Anora is can seem, I think, to some people like, and just from stuff I've heard, can seem like a kind of frivolous kind of movie because the character is very fun and funny, and
it's not frivolous at all.
No, I know, but people people are like, oh, it's just this girl's having sex and then she for money, and then she meets this rich guy, and then blah, blah, blah. So you can see it that way.
The movie?
Yeah, I know, but so I was saying, for me, the movie, what was so touching about it was, yes, it's a very screwball type movie, and that's also something I love about it. Right? It has the screwball elements, but it's also very serious and very deep, right? And so the thing I think the movie said to me was, everything in this movie is for sale, right? All the people are for sale. All the relationships are transactional and about money, right? And about whatever, except one, right? And that's the ending, which is so beautiful and so poignant. Like, I cried at the ending, right? Because at first you're a little confused, like, what's going on? Like, why is she crying, right? And then you realize that's the only real connection you've ever seen in the entire movie, right? Every other relationship, whether it's between her and her bosses or her and her the Russian kid, right?
Yeah.
Or
he was great. Oh my God,
he was amazing.
Perfect.
All three of them were great.
Everybody, yeah. Oh yeah. Yuri Borisov was.
Yeah. But and then even the Russian kid and his mother and the family, he's owned by them.
Scary, yeah.
Everybody's owned by everybody else.
Have you seen other Sean Baker films?
Yeah, I've seen The Florida Project, which I thought was really good. Yeah.
These are themes that run through his films. And I've seen that in Red Rocket as well.
How was Red Rocket? I haven't seen that one.
A lot of people really don't like it. I liked it. Okay. We handled that one too, and it didn't do as well. But it's a more difficult film in a way. But similarly, yeah, for me, the themes that run through his work are around, sex workers, yes, but it's like the dynamic between them and clients or potential clients or other figures in their lives, trying to just get normalized and just trying to it's all transactional. Yeah. And in a way it reflects how really we are all transactional. Well,
that's it, right? That's the profoundness of it. Yeah.
But it's how do they get beaten down, and the only way for them to find some sense of equality is to try to manipulate or trick. So,
exactly.
So when Anora agrees to marry the kid, it's like, what else is she gonna do?
Yeah, she's like, well, this is a good deal for me.
Yeah.
Right? And, he's good looking. He's a fun guy, and she's like, well, this is
It's
fun.
not like she's getting into this abusive, horrible thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Just for the money. Yeah. I mean, sure, it's for the money, obviously. She doesn't love him or anything.
Yeah. And, like, the fact that she's, like, kind of like, she's a gold-digging whore, basically. That's the way they're talking about her, which, you probably would say something like that if you saw that. But, the reality is that she's actually, like, that's her job. Like, I think she says that at one point, even, like, it's like, well, that's the gig. Like, and so is she the one who's falling in love and losing her perspective? I don't think so. No. Right. But she gets thrown off by the bodyguard. Yeah. Right. Because he's real.
He's real.
And he really sees her.
He's clearly not as much for sale because he's quite early on turning his sympathies toward her and away from his employer.
Yeah.
And
even
he's a wonderful actor. We had him in a Finnish film called Compartment Number 6.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that I recommend.
Okay.
And it was one of those movies where it's like, okay, keep an eye out for that guy.
Right.
He's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, the ending is great in Anora. It's one of the best endings I've ever seen. And then you realize that, her character is like that, right? That sort of like bubbly, very sexy, very, but with the Bronx accent or whatever. And she's so attractive that you, as the viewer, also get sucked into her game. You think, oh, she just wants love and she's looking for love, but she's not looking.
She's very relatable.
Yeah, she is, but it's because she's good at what she does. Yeah, right.
And she's not a bad person, and she's not trying to. No, the transactional nature of her marriage, he's as fully on board with it as she is. It's not like she's deceiving him.
Yeah,
she's not pretending to love him.
And it's radical in the sense that when she finds love.
Yeah,
it's the breakdown that happens because the entire persona has been about there's no such thing as love. Everything's a transaction, right?
Right.
And so that's the deepness of that movie, right? And a very beautiful message at the end, right? How through all this garbage that we're all living through right now, you can still connect with somebody sometimes, right?
Right.
In a real way, and that's it's becoming more and more rare, I think.
And like you said, on top of all of that, it's funny. It's a wild ride.
Hilarious.
It's edge of your seat for
She's
much of it.
She's almost like a modern day Born Yesterday. What's her name?
Judy Holliday.
Yeah, that same kind of like character, because I love that movie too. Born Yesterday.
Yeah. But it's still a surprising win given the subject matter for the Oscars. But that just goes to show.
Somebody, well, Conan's one of his best jokes was, I think Americans are just happy to see an American stand up to a Russian. It was like, yeah, that's a good one, man. Yeah. So I guess overall, some of the movies. Was there other movies that we missed? Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, did you see Conclave?
I did see Conclave. Yes, and I liked it.
I liked it too, but I had a lot of problems with it.
Yeah,
I know. I keep saying that.
I know. I don't even. I'd have to see it again. It's a little forgettable.
Well, exactly. It is. Because it is ultimately it's a pretty facile film. It's like, I mean, it's high melodrama. It's like total pulp. Yeah. Gussied up like a prestige picture.
Yeah.
And again, like Amelia Perez, I had issues with the trans elements in the film.
Right.
It felt like a gimmick.
That was the part that I really did not like.
No. And it's the end of the film. Yeah. So and
it's kind of like just throw in a trans character at the end. Yeah.
And that's going to like throw the church off kilter.
I mean, I'd have to watch it again because there were things about it that I really liked.
It's very entertaining.
It's very entertaining. It's really well written. The acting is really good. So it could just be that, right?
Yeah.
Is there anything? Is there anything
Stanley
deeper?
Tucci,
I don't
John
know.
Lithgow.
But
And side note, I love that Isabella Rossellini wore a blue velvet dress to the Oscars.
Yeah,
that was
awesome. I thought they should have done a little bit more about David Lynch, but
yeah. Well, the In Memoriam was a bit. Like, they missed a lot of people.
They did, but they
missed Alain Delon.
Oh. Yeah, well, I guess he's French,
He's French.
Yeah.
He's only Alain Delon. He's only a god.
Yeah, super icon.
So yeah, I liked it. Dune Part 2.
Yeah, I like Dune Part 2.
Of course.
Fine.
If you like Dune Part 1, you're going to like Dune Part 2.
Yeah, but it seemed to kind of be like the wallflower at the dance kind of thing. He just sort of sat in the corner and didn't do anything.
No. It is what it is.
Yeah, but it's a good movie, and fine.
I saw it in 70 mil, which is great.
I mean, it's impressive as hell.
Yeah, it's the filmmaking is stellar. Like Villeneuve is still.
But here's the interesting thing, right? You have Dune 2 and Wicked. Probably Emily Perez too. Probably you're talking $100 million budgets on some of these movies, right?
Right.
Anora,
$6 million.
$6 million.
Okay, Brutalist was $10 million.
Yeah,
that's insane.
That's nuts. Yeah,
and they shot it within 40 days.
Yeah,
that's bananas.
That's a new.
How long did it take Coppola to do Megalopolis?
Yeah, like what, 40 years.
At $100 million.
Yeah, it's more like he's like being constipated. It's like it's going to take me a long time to move this piece of turd.
Yeah, it deserved its Razzies.
Yes, it was terrible. But that's a really fascinating aspect of this year's Oscars, because I was like, that independent thing is. I mean, that's great. That's really amazing, because like $6 million for a movie is like $6,000. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like back in the day, it's like it's nothing. Like
we work on Canadian films that are like that.
I worked on a series a couple of years ago that it was $1 million budget, right? So it's like like $1 million budget is nothing, right?
Yeah, and I love that Sean Baker in his acceptance speach. He acknowledged that very well, and it's hard to believe he got a record. Nobody else has ever won 4 Oscars in one night before.
I think there was only one other person,
or maybe it was Walt
Disney. Yeah.
So that's crazy.
Yeah,
I mean, amazing.
I guess that's it. Right?
No.
There's more.
Did you see? Well, there's 10, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Did you see The Substance?
I haven't seen Substance yet.
So The Substance is my least favorite of all the
interesting.
Which is funny because it did get great reviews, and it was a huge box office hit. Yeah. And I love as our faithful listeners may know, I love horror films.
Faithful listeners know you so well.
They do. I get letters. I get letters. But not this one.
Wow.
I
think we need to call somebody now. This is another level of delusion.
Somebody called
letters from from the government.
Somebody call Cam H quick. But I do think Demi Moore was great. I mean, if she had won the Oscar, I would have not complained. I mean,
people are sort of saying, well, she should have won because she's older, and but she made this huge comeback. It's like, yeah, but one thing I liked about this year's Oscars, it did seem to kind of stick more to the quality of the work rather than the politics behind who and is this the person's. I mean, I never like when they do that. Like they gave Al Pacino an Oscar for Scent of a Woman, which is a piece of shit.
So that was back in the day when, of course, it was like that. It was all like white old people and just.
And he deserves it for The Godfather, which we never gave it to him for. So let's give it to him now. Yeah.
But The Substance for me, it really bugged me how it was. It clearly had a very strong feminist message. Yeah. Which I admire, but it seemed to have its cake and eat it too. So it's this film about how unfair it is that women are treated as they reach a certain age, while the camera is still ogling Margaret Qualley's ass and thighs throughout half the movie. Right. And that really bugged me. And I mean, it does go full on body horror by the end, but it wasn't like the best Cronenberg films from the 80s where it's truly horrifying, the end of Videodrome or the end of The Fly. It was ridiculous. Like it was so over the top in The Substance that I was just kind of laughing. Yeah. Okay. So I wasn't big on that one.
I'm still gonna also watch it.
No, you should watch it because don't take my word for it. A lot of smart people really love the movie.
Never.
That's a good idea.
Especially if it's a Clint Eastwood
movie. Juror number 2 was pretty good.
No, I did not.
You didn't like it?
No, it was dumb. I was like, what?
It was.
What was the point?
It definitely had a lot of you could drive a few trucks through those plot holes, but
plot holes.
It was still fun.
No.
No? Okay.
I didn't even like it.
Speaking of that, Wicked.
Yeah.
Wicked
is awful.
So Wicked is not horrible.
Wow. That's shocking.
It's not great. It's, pretty mediocre.
No.
Not horrible.
That sounds worse, though. At least if it's horrible, you can make jokes, right?
Well, yeah. Like, you'll have more fun watching Megalopolis than you will for what. No, actually, you won't. You'll have more fun watching Madam Web than you'll have watching Wicked. Okay. But the pluses on Wicked were the cast. They were great. And my favorite part of the Oscars show was the opening musical numbers with Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo, because they're just incredible. They're just great singers.
You're right.
And in the film, I'd never heard Cynthia Erivo sing before, and her number in Wicked, I was just like, oh wow, this is like,
she's a great
amazing
singer.
And she's really good in the film, and they have a great chemistry, the two of them.
Right.
The movie looks incredible in terms of production design.
Right.
But the cinematography is so overlit and flat.
Right.
It just looks cheap when it shouldn't look cheap.
Right. They needed more of a stylist in there.
There's no filmmaking it's just really flat.
Right.
I mean, it's not that it drags necessarily, because it is pretty long, but I haven't seen Wicked on stage, but when I was watching the movie, I was thinking, I bet this is great on stage. This seems like something that would be really pumped up. And
yeah.
The Defying Gravity song is great, and they do that really well at the end of the film. But you know what? Yeah, you're not going to like it. And a lot of people don't like musicals.
I was just going to say, do you want me to go to your car and get your balls? Because, whoa, dude. I want to go see it on the stage. No, no, it's okay. I totally love musicals. I love musicals. But
you're not gonna love this one.
No, I know, because these are like processed cheese style musicals, right?
It's not. This is not Gene Kelly and Stanley Donen.
No.
This is not Vincent Minnelli.
No. Sid Charisse.
Yeah, no.
Ginger
But
Rogers.
if you
this is the oldest we've ever sounded. Right here.
Ginger Rogers.
Remember the old Ginger Rogers?
Back in the day.
Sid Charisse.
Busby Berkeley. Where did he go?
Glenn Miller.
And I guess the last of the Best Picture nominations we haven't talked about was Nickel Boys. I don't know if you saw that one.
I have not seen Nickel Boys.
So this is a really interesting film. You probably, our faithful listeners probably know, because you're all cinephiles, that it's the style of Nickel Boys is a first-person POV camera, but it's split between two characters.
Oh.
So, it's not like the old film noir Lady in the Lake, which was the famous,
which is one of the worst movies
which
ever
is terrible.
Made. Yeah. This
one, but it doesn't quite work.
Okay.
It does a strange thing where you feel both immersed in what's happening, because, it's about these two boys who become friends in this horribly abusive, terrible reformatory. But still, it keeps you at a bit of a distance at the same time, because you're usually aware of what's happening, the style.
Right.
It's keeping you at a bit of a distance, but you're also immersed in what's happening.
Sounds interesting as an
which
experiment.
Is really, But Ramel Ross also uses more kind of avant-garde techniques. So for a film like this to get the Academy attention,
what's his other films that he's done?
Hale County This Evening, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Do I have that right? I don't know if I have the title right.
It sounds really familiar.
The documentary, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Nickel Boys got the Best Film Award from the Toronto Film Critics Association.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it's amazing that
I was there, and he gave a great speech.
Okay.
Yeah. But, so I think Nickel Boys is worth watching, for sure.
Right.
It's an interesting film. I don't think it quite works, and the style actually confused me at one point. Near the end, I was having trouble figuring out who was who. Maybe I'm dumb, but I talked to other people who also agreed it was.
So you couldn't
confusing.
tell who which.
I don't want to give away everything, but
that's because is that because all black people look the same?
Oh boy!
See how I
no. There's an identity switch that happens, and it wasn't clear to me as I was watching it. But anyway,
sure thing, racist.
Anyway, really interesting film worth watching.
Okay.
There's a couple of films I wish got nominated for Best Picture.
Like what?
A Real Pain, which I loved. No, you didn't.
love
it?
I liked it. I liked it. I don't know if I would say I loved it. It was a little too I don't know, in the Woody Allen camp or something.
It reminded me a lot of Woody Allen at his best.
Yeah. Okay.
So, and it was genuinely funny, genuinely moving.
It was good. It was good.
I thought Culkin deserved his Oscar.
Yeah, I thought he was great in it. Yeah. And his character was interesting because he was kind of like, what do you call it? Like a borderline or a narcissistic sociopath.
Yeah.
Something was going on with him, right? And, it was
like a walking open wound.
Yeah. Well, he's definitely got like really serious problems, but he's also very likable and very like, everybody likes him in the movie,
I think everybody knows somebody who's a bit like that.
Yeah.
Who's like, you're kind of drawn to them, but then after a while,
but then
it's
they
like,
drive
oh my
you
God,
nuts
they drive you nuts.
The thing that makes them likable is also the thing that's their worst quality in some ways.
Yeah. And
I've been told this about myself, by the way.
And I'm sure I'm like this too.
Yeah.
In that category, one person I wish was nominated for Best Supporting Actor was Clarence Macklin. He was in a movie called Sing Sing.
Oh, Sing Sing, right. Yeah, I haven't seen
it. So, and Coleman Domingo got a Best Actor nomination.
Right.
But, Clarence Macklin was an inmate in Sing Sing.
Okay.
Part of that theater program that's depicted in the film.
Oh, right.
And wow, he outacts
Coleman Domingo.
I mean, he is incredible.
Okay.
And there's a scene where he recites a Hamlet monologue, and it feels like it was written yesterday. The way he writes, I've never heard it. Like, it's great. Wow. The movie's not great. The movie's good. It's worth watching.
Right.
But watch it,
for the performance.
Yeah, it's really terrific.
I'd have to say that my favorite performance was not in a movie though this year.
It was in your bedroom mirror.
Exactly. When I'm.
Okay. No, don't finish that sentence. Don't finish that sentence.
When I'm reenacting that scene from Pulp Fiction with my wife. Anyway. Now I can't remember what I was going to say.
Your favorite performance? It was not in a film.
Yeah, it was not in a film. My favorite acting performance from the past year was Colin Farrell in Penguin.
Wow. Oh, yeah.
I mean, I have never, ever seen somebody disappear so far.
Kristen Milioti in Penguin, who was also incredible.
She was great.
Yeah.
But this was a bigger transformation, right? Yeah. Like at first I was like, I'm not even kidding. Somebody told me, you got to watch Penguin. Colin Farrell's really good in it. So I started watching it. And for the whole first episode, I was like, but where's Colin Farrell?
Wow.
I didn't know that he was
you didn't see the Batman with Robert Pattinson?
I did, but a long time ago, and
right.
I forgot.
Okay.
Right? So, whatever. I don't retain everything, very, very few things.
We're all getting older.
It's all the weed. But then when I started watching it, and the show was really good too, not amazing, but it was pretty good. But he was so convincing that even though I knew it was him,
you forget.
I totally forgot. So, I find that magic that rarely happens, right? Mm-hmm. Like it happened with Raging Bull as well, right?
Yeah. When an actor really disappears, and you completely forget that that's even like.
Yeah. That's not even the same person. Even and when they're a big star like that, that's even more interesting. But also that he's such a good look. He's known as such a handsome guy too, and then he played this really ugly, physically.
It's a great take on the Penguin. Yeah. And I mean, the show was a bit too like Sopranos-y, but it's a good show.
It's a good show. I enjoyed it all the way through. But but it was really him. He was just like. Compelling, right?
Oh yeah.
I mean, he's great in everything, but anyway, I thought he was great in that. So, anyway, I guess that's pretty much it for the Oscars.
Yeah, I think
didn't feel as bitchy because we didn't have as much stuff to shit on this year.
No, and nothing surprising. Nothing crazy outstanding, but solid stuff.
Right.
Yeah. So,
good for you, Oscars.
You got it kind of right for once.
Yeah.
And the next episode we're going to record, of course, we've had the passing of Gene Hackman recently.
So strangely.
Very strange, yeah.
Have
very
they figured
sad.
it out yet, as of this recording?
I don't think so. It's so weird. But, of course, Gene Hackman was one of the iconic greatest actors in cinema history. So
an actor's actor.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so we'd love to talk about maybe the great actors and actresses from the 1970s.
Yeah, because the 70s really was considered the golden age, right?
You know, you had the starting of these sort of anti-heroes coming in, which I think Popeye Doyle, Gene Hackman's character.
For sure. And, you know, you have there's a lot to talk about with the 70s, with both big male and female stars, right? Because, you know, it's just like this is just truth. It's just like a fact, which is that cinema... one of the most fascinating things about it is that it's like a record of the time in which it was made, right?
Yeah.
And you see, it's like being an anthropologist almost when you watch older movies, right? You really start to get into the look of things and the way people talked and the way they acted, right? And stuff like that. In the 70s, I had this kind of hedonistic element to it, which, you know, became a kind of despair almost, you know. So I think there's a lot about that.
The industry was so different, you know. Yeah. You could have it like an Ingmar Bergman film open, and you get lineups down the block.
Roger Corman actually produced like Cries and Whispers.
I think he distributed it.
Oh, distributed.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So Roger Corman's American International was distributor of foreign films.
Yeah, he's the only one who would release it, right? And.
No. God, we should do an episode about Roger Corman.
I know.
Oh my
God.
So
true.
What a great idea.
Especially considering like Honora winning a $6 million movie. That's a very Roger Corman style. And I love Roger Corman. Let's do that.
Me too. Yeah, we should do that. Okay, so we're going to do
We'll
do
a Gene Hackman at the beginning and then Roger Corman.
We could do separate episodes.
That's true. Okay.
Yeah,
Wait a minute. That's a little radical,
I could do a whole episode on Roger Corman, Vincent Price movies.
Okay, and then we're also going to this is a special treat for everybody. We're going to be counting down J.D. Vance's favorite movies.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. So
one is called
our guest star will be Glenn Close, Oscar nominated for Hillbilly Elegy.
Right. And then his other favorite movie is The Couch Trip.
The Couch Trip. There you go. And with that, my friends, we will see you out there in the dark.
Unless I see you first.